Good morning.
Treasury repeats that it will keep coupon auction sizes steady.
New to day trading? Use micro contracts to take partial profits. Almost ready. I'm just wrapping up my lunch. How about that ADP, huh? Just eating my cookies. US dollar gains stall for the time being. Scotiabank. Canadian dollar slips through 1.41, Scotiabank.
Gold remains range-bound as stronger U.S. dollar caps upside. ISM Services PMI in focus.
This is our free Squawk Box that runs 24 hours a day. Sorry, I'm just eating my cookies. It's lunchtime. Or you tried to subscribe and it didn't work. Yeah, I'm monkeying around with things, so I'll look into that later. US dollar Swiss franc technicals. The US dollar Swiss franc keeps the stretch higher going. All right, let me turn down the music and we'll get going. Euro is trading flat versus US dollar, Scotiabank. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Dre says, hey, oh, is that right, Jim? Yeah, all of that's going to be taken care of today. Dre says, hey, I used to drink my veggie. Yeah, I did, but I did that 4 hours ago. Yeah, I did that 4 hours ago. So that I just ate lunch. So anywho, welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. This is a combination of TRADARS and Traders Way. TRADARS for analytics, Traders Way for execution, Luflitulumum. It's a perfect blend. Yeah. In fact, we have a secret program now. I'll relaunch it soon. But if you actually work with, use our trading execution partners like Traders Way, you could earn a rebate so that TRADARS is either cheaper or even free.
Pound.US dollar is trading quietly above 1.30. Scotiabank.
Yeah, and that's done through a combination of a couple of things. Every time you place a trade with Traders Way, if you execute through TRADARS, you get a little bit of the spread rebated back directly into your trading, into the trade platform, into your MT4. Yeah, so at the end of the day, they look at all your trades, and then they add them all up, and then they take some of your spread, and they give it back to you in cash. Not credit, cash, into your account. So, thereby, your spread is cheaper. That's pretty cool. Just for using TRADARS and then executing with Traders Way. That's cool, right? If you trade enough, I'll also PayPal you some cash. So now you have two ways to earn cash back. So anyways, kind of neat, right? Yeah, you ready to do some macro? We're going to do a fast and furious. We're not going to spend 2 hours on psychobabble today. So we'll start with a little macro overview. And in this case, what I want to do is just simply review implied volatility. It's one way to kind of look at all the different markets all at once. It's a quick and dirty to see what's going on. But the major benefit is look at this, don't look at that. Imagine you started your routine every morning and you knew right away 80% of everything out there was a waste of your time. So now you're focused on the top 20 percentile of your best opportunities based on quantitative analysis. Hey, that ain't bad, right? Dude, well, it depends. Maybe your time's worthless. But if your time is priceless, then that's like the number one most important thing. So let's take a look at implied vol. And this is things that are moving now and the direction they're moving down. Okay, price down, yield up. What does that mean for the 10-year T-note? Yields are rising. Let's take a look at oil. Oil is bearish and in about the middle of the range. So it really comes down to, are you a bear or are you a bull? This is non-directional. You've already missed the 3 best trading hours for oil. You mean 1, 2, 3? Uh-huh. So you've missed, based on what occurs with WTI on Wednesdays, it's already over. I want you to think about that. You need to know not just what to trade and how to trade, but you need to know when to trade. So some people might just be logging in and they're like, I'm about to trade oil today. You've already missed it. Now you're just getting leftovers, bro. And we can tell by volatility dropping and likely with the volatility volume dropping too. So you had, if you were a bear, you had the 61 roll price psych level, roll reversal, top of the range, 1 hour implied low, 4 hour, or a high, I should say. 1 hour implied high, 4 hour. Really, we're trading up to 4 hour, right? And you know the best time of day to trade is right when we were testing that. And so now tomorrow's low is as much as 59. But as far as you want to start trading oil now, dude, oh, what the heck just happened? I just lost my sight. Hang on. Uh, 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 click something or what? The heck happened there? So, anyways, enough of the bitch slap, I guess, is what the market was saying. Okay, great. You had a trade set up, you missed it, it's over, and the rest is just scraps. Go! Okay. You think about gold. Nice little bounce, but we're going to retest that for 4,000 mark. And if you're a bear, it's going to drop, huh? Do you see that? If you're a bear, you're going to test 4,000, which is our 4 hour implied high, and then you're going to roll it over back down to 3,900. And then I would assume if you're a bear, you would assume lower than that. Notice that we lose volume and volatility with gold this time of day. Once again, you've already missed the logical move. And the next thing is, even if we make a high, we're going to have less and less traders. So that right around this period, Asia open, the volume will probably take it down. If you're a bear, you would assume the volume would go in your direction. Otherwise, I don't know if you're actually a bear. Does that make sense? You guys with me? Who's loving life and living large? Am I going too quick? You want the slow? You want the slow version? Huh? Who's alive? How delayed is our YouTube? Yeah. All right. Looks like our YouTube is a little slow. Yeah. Slow down, hey Richie. All right. Bitcoin. 99.5, 99.5 up. I believe there's a pivot point in there as well as that psych level. Yeah, which means maybe we can get to 105 by tomorrow. Okay. And remember, you can put your stop below the 4 or the daily low because that's the implied low. So this helps you not only with finding support and resistance today, it helps you with tomorrow's target, which could be your take profit level, and your stop. Remember, having looked at many, 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 many Wednesdays and the hour of each Wednesday, we know it's not probable, likely, it's possible, but not probable, that if today collapses and you're correct on your bullishness, that we get less below this low. That's based on many, many, many calculations. It's not a guess. Okay. So whoever bought this 4-hour low is targeting 105 and has their stop right below this. Or below that if you're going to do technical. But this is implied, meaning you don't just arbitrarily put it below the lowest low because that's the lowest low. You could say, well, I've looked at many, 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 many Wednesdays. And it's just not likely to fall further than that. It might, but it's just not likely. So you can actually end up risking less because you have better data. So your stop would be, let's say right around 100. Your limit would be around 105 if you're day trading. And remember, that's not like the end of today or the beginning of Thursday. That's 24 hours. So in the next 24 hours, probably have this go up another $2,500 if you're a bull. When is it going to start moving? Tomorrow at 5 a.m. Okay, which means today at 5 a.m. you would have been buying it here and you would be up. You'd be up by now. You should know 3 hours ago you should have been hot to go HOTTOGO. So once again, if you're logging into New York and you're like, Wayne, it's 9:15 in the morning, I want to get going, I want to start trading. I'm like, dude, you need to get up earlier. I can tell you quantitatively, you've missed the boat. Anyways, how about the stock market? Okay. If we continue and follow through, so we have a inverse head and shoulders, as you can see. And maybe tomorrow we're back up to there. But our 1 hour and 4 hours says we get to 68 and then maybe fizzle out. Does that seem about right to you? NASI, okay, again, looks like it's trying to stabilize. We don't have any technical analysis here, right? We just have price action and a moving average and our implied volatility. So you'd have to know, is this a monthly or annual central pivot point? Wouldn't that, right? Now, Richard says he's buying the stock market today. That's good, but you also said you were buying the dollar today. So now you're contradicting yourself. And so if you were buying the stock market today, there's a high probability you would stop buying dollar now, and you'd be much more likely to sell dollar. Okay. Yen is weak right now relative to the dollar. Dollars beats CAD. Brent will pass. Pound Swissy. What do you think? Down, 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 up, up, sell, double top on our implied resistance. Now, maybe you don't see it. Maybe you're like, I don't see the resistance there. There's no pivot points. There's no real psych level. I just don't see it. Well, it's a mathematical resistance. Okay. So once again, you've missed the best trading hours for this. And it'll start up again at Asia Open, New York close. Isn't it nice to know? So you get a little pop, and then it fizzles, and then the next one is pre-London. Yeah, pre-London, hold to about now, and then take profit. So You front run London and you take profit, right around the New York Open. Just for pound Swissy. Oh, is it related to the fact that it takes off pre-European Open and then fizzles out at the European close because they're both European currencies? Oh. Makes sense, doesn't it? Of course it makes sense. They're both European currencies. You should be trading European hours on this one. Pound dollar. Yeah. Down, 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 down. Up, up. Is it a big sell today? Could be a rabbit, could be. There's a spike on the London close. Aussie dollar. Good stabilization here. It had been collapsing. And then we tested the moving average, but it didn't follow through. And we're not likely to get volume and volatility on this one. So you're probably going to want to do some relative strength exercise. Like if the dollar happens to get strong or weak, it's going to impact this. So let's say because of ADP, let's say the stock market's down again today and the dollar's strong. Then Aussie dollar is going to come down. It doesn't do that on average, but if today's move is going to be based on today's news and implied impact on Fed policy, or implied, if we had NFP would be not horrible, but not great, doesn't sort of change the downward focus, then that's different than normal. It's not a normal Wednesday. What can I tell you? CAD yen, CAD Swissy. Okay. What do you think of this one? Okay. Support, 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 break, resistance, resistance, resistance. Is that a role reversal? Is the next target 57? Could be a rabbit, could be. Well, at least you have that. So again, why are we doing this? This is part of our morning routine in which you just simply say, "Oh yeah, maybe CAD Swissy," and you put it down on your list. Look at this, don't look at that. Okay, what do you think? You want to buy a dip off that moving average and try to take it up? Maybe. Put it on your list. How does this look? Pass. It's not going up. It's not going down. Pass. And we're likely to have more and more of less and less. Okay. Maybe. 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 You see? So you find something that you like. Then you decide to do the technical analysis. So let's say you're like, okay, Wayne, I think this double, triple bottom off of the psych level of 100,000 on Bitcoin might be interesting. And I like the upward move during these peak hours. And that by this time tomorrow, maybe we're as high as 105. I like that. And I say, okay, cool. So you want to buy dips off the role reversal, buy dips off of the moving average, and buy dips on the implied lows with price action built into the implied high. Did I lose anyone? I'm going to show you how to use Trader's Way effectively, how to execute effectively. Okay. Oops. That's cool. I want an epic. That's habitual. All right. Here's my EpiPen. All right. So, okay. Your thought process is this, 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 Okay, now what? Up here is resistance. Down here is support based on implied volatility. And then the 24-hour, not tomorrow, 24-hour target. So that's based on implied resistance, implied support. Okay, now we do actual support and resistance. Right? This area here, right? Was resistance, now support. And we can combine those two. Meanwhile, we have a moving average that's probably going to look like this in the future, huh? So, okay, we had this, and then we were projecting this. So you have that trend. And then if you do a parallel line, okay, so all of this coming together, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that all say if you're a bull, you might want to put that together. Once again, you're about 3 hours late, but I preach to teach, right? So you would take this and say, okay, well, maybe I could look for that on my Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. What's this? Okay. And that should be, let's put this on hour. And so what I can do is then I take this, remember, imagine this 3 hours ago, 3, 4, 5 hours ago. And you would say, well, at that time you had this role reversal and this as support. You see? So you would say, okay, I can also analyze this, and I know the trading hours are good. And the trade plan on the shorter run would be, okay, you saw the double bottom. This is where we were. And so this is where okay, the plan is. And this goes back to even yesterday. So we had something kind of similar but different. But imagine I was eyeballing this. Okay, and now we had this, and now what we're planning is another one here. You see? So then you put that onto, yeah, maybe, right? And then you drop into your charts, and then you put up execution plans. Notice that, so I got the first one, and, this is my coaching account, so it's just an example of trading this. Obviously, 100K is a big deal, so it's not random, nor is this random. You notice that? That's a key pivot point. Now what are we doing? Well, now we're on this. What's interesting about that? That's also a key pivot point. And now that key pivot point is possibly acting as support. I have it set from a bearish mode, even though I'm a bull, because I want to know where the bears are. I want to know what the bears are thinking. So if we get higher than this, we've taken all the bears out, and this is definitely bullish. You see? Huh? What a clever boy, huh? The other thing I want to point out is that carry trade I've been in for 5 months now. I have 81% internal rate of return just on my swap. And I'm up I'm up more than 350% on the trade. But I've gotten almost all my money back. I risked $100. I've made 81 back in swap. which means on swap I'm earning, what is that? It's going to be pretty close to 175% a year annualized, just on swap. Yeah, and I've been in that trade since July. Somebody said back then, they're like, Wayne, can you give me an example of like, Wayne, how do you stay in a trade for more than 2 days? And I'm like, that's easy. You don't take profit. Enter a good trade and then don't take profit. And I said, see, boom, like that. And I think 3 days later, I moved the stop to break even. And that's that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Every day I don't take profit, and every day I get paid. Now, of course, the problem is, and this is a real problem, truly is, if I just took profit now, I'd get paid 1.5 years worth of swap. So I can sit on it for 1.5 years and have the same amount of money in swap as I could if I took pips right now. You see, the pips are worth 1.5 years of sitting on it like Mother Goose. And that becomes a real problem, especially the bigger and bigger it gets. Yeah, it becomes a serious problem. Like literally, you can't sleep at night. Because you're like, I could take profit right now and take the next 3 years off. If it was big enough money, you could just like, you start daydreaming. I'm telling you, you daydream. And in particular, while you're trying to fall asleep, you can't fall asleep because your stomach is churning because you're like, I'm up 30,000 pips, but I'm earning $1,000 a day in swap, right? But if I take my 30,000 pips, I could not work for a year. And you're like, I kind of like the idea of not working for a year, and all of a sudden, you're messing with your psyche, and becomes a problem. And then the next morning you wake up and, something happened to the yens and pound yen dropped 100 pips. And then you look at your 100 trades times 100 pips. And statistically, it's not a big deal, but then the amount of money freaks you out. Yeah, and now you're emotional again. Mm-mm-mm. So, anyways. So that was Forex.Today. Beautiful partnership between TRADARS and Traders Way. Match made in heaven. In fact, if you join TRADARS and open up an account through us, your Traders Analytics platform, for some here, have received rebates enough to make it free. But at the very least, even if you don't qualify for a rebate, your spread gets cheaper. Well, hell's bells. That ain't a bad deal. Oh, and thank you, Jim. Yeah, for those that are subscribers to TRADARS right now, I'm going to try doing a meeting instead of at 4 p.m. at New York close. I want to do noon today, which is London close. Okay. So in 2.5 hours, we're going to regroup and plan Thursday. Say what? Yeah, we're going to plan Thursday. And for everybody else, they're figuring out what to do today. Oh my God. Yeah, you should be taking profit by now. Yeah. Anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thank you to you. Thank you to me. Thank you to the group at Traders Way. Thank you, YouTube.